The danger of modern political gerrymandering is that it doesn't just resemble Jim Crow behavior and symbolism. It now mirrors it in function. The original Jim Crow system in the American South was never only about segregated water fountains and racist bathrooms. Its real purpose was political control. After Reconstruction, Southern lawmakers realized that if Black Americans and poor white voters gained real political power, that they could fundamentally reshape state governments. So, racist officials created systems designed to weaken votes without always openly banning voting outright. Poll taxes, literacy tests, intimidation, and racial districting all became tools to dilute representation while maintaining the appearance of democracy. Now, modern gerrymandering works in a disturbingly similar way. Instead of outright denying someone the vote, map makers manipulate district boundaries so certain communities lose meaningful political influence. The two major tactics are called packing and cracking. Packing concentrates minority or opposition voters into a small number of districts so their influence is isolated, and cracking splits the communities into several districts so they never form a majority anywhere, and the result is the same outcome that Jim Crow architects wanted more than a century ago. People technically have the right to vote, but not the power to shape government. Now, what makes this especially dangerous today is that modern technology has turned gerrymandering into a precision weapon. Politicians now use massive amounts of demographic data, voting histories, consumer behaviors, even predictive modeling to engineer districts with scientific accuracy. Instead of communities choosing representatives, representatives are choosing their voters. This is happening everywhere, but oh my God, it's like Utah invented it. So what it does, it weakens one of the core principles of democracy, which is accountability. In heavily gerrymandered districts, politicians don't have to fear losing general elections, so they become more and more extreme, less responsive, more interested in ideological purity than compromise or governance. This is starting to sound a lot like yours.
Yeah.
There's also a racial dimension that echoes Jim Crow directly, because race and voting patterns in America are still heavily connected due to historical inequality and party alignment. Partisan gerrymandering often produces racial consequences, even when lawmakers claim purely political motives, which I think we know by this time is bullshit. So courts and scholars repeatedly shown that splitting Black and Latino communities can weaken minority representation while still giving officials plausible deniability. In recent years, several controversial maps in states like Louisiana, Tennessee, Alabama, Utah, Mississippi have reignited accusations that the racial, I threw Utah in there for fun, that racial is returning under the cover of partisan strategy. Now, the Supreme Court's 2019 decision in Rucho versus Common Cause made the situation even more fucked up, because the court ruled that federal courts can't intervene in cases of partisan gerrymandering. Critics argue that this effectively permitted state legislatures to draw aggressively partisan maps with little to no federal oversight, and at the same time, other rulings have weakened portions of the Voting Rights Act that historically protected minority voting power. Civil rights advocates are warning that these decisions collectively create conditions where discriminatory political maps can survive longer and become more and more extreme. So the broader danger is democratic backsliding. Democracies rarely collapse overnight through coups or tanks in the streets. More often, they erode slowly when institutions stop reflecting the will of the voters. Gerrymandering creates legislatures that may not accurately represent the population, allowing parties to maintain power even when they lose statewide popular votes. That doesn't happen here yet.
No. Not yet.
So, to finish up, over time, it breeds cynicism, distrust, polarization, eventually public doubt that elections even matter at all. And so that's exactly why comparisons to Jim Crow resonate with so many historians and voting rights advocates. Both systems preserve power by manipulating who truly counts politically. Seen.
And seen.
And seen. Yes, and?
So, yes, and. No, I mean, you're right. I hate that you're right. You're right.
Gerrymandering's been a pet cause of mine for years.